What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade, basketball analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. We're going to talk about Zach Lavine because people been asking me about Zach Lavine after being an all-star, after having the best season of his career. 27, 5, and 5 on great efficiency from three, free throw, and from the field. Absolutely annihilating anybody that guards him. Playing a little bit of hero ball, but this team sucked. I honestly thought when they made the Nikola Vucevic trade, I didn't think that they'd be a lock for the playoffs. I didn't think that they'd be a great team. I didn't think that he was the answer that they needed. I feel like he was an upgrade for where they were before, but this team has a devoid of talent. This team is missing a lot more perimeter scoring. They missing defensive players, and honestly and truthfully, you only can do so much as one player. We see that with Steph Curry. Steph Curry is going out here obliterating everybody, and they still 500 or worse. So it's not going to be something overnight. They had Zach Lavine for some years. They took him over Jimmy Butler, and Jimmy Butler has thrived in Miami, and Zach Lavine has struggled in Chicago. And it's just because the coaching was bad. We didn't like the coach that they had. Nobody really liked Boylan because he didn't really know offense or defense, and they didn't really play great defense or offense when they had him. They got a new coach in right now that they're trying to figure out how to smooth things out with his offense and his defense. They haven't been great since the Vucevic trade. But like I said, I never was high on them anyway. I didn't think that Vucevic would make them a lock for the playoffs, like I said before. Vucevic is an interesting guy because he is a great rebounder for his athleticism and his size. He is a great floor spacer. He is a great post player, in my personal opinion. And he is a guy that you want on your team because he's willing to step up when he has to, but he's also willing to step out of his game to help other guys or make jobs easier. And I thought that that was why it made sense for them to do this. But the problem is still with their GM. Their GM has to figure out what type of team he's trying to put around Zach Lavine. If Zach Lavine is your guy, and you feel like he can take you to the promised land, if you feel like he is one of the best players in the world, which he has been, that's why he was an all-star, you have to put more around them. I haven't felt even with their last coach, they haven't put enough talent around Zach Lavine for them to actually have a shot at winning. Did they put enough around them? Yeah, they put enough, and that's why they've been mediocre to bad every single season. So I feel like Zach Lavine has been put in a situation where he is set to fail. I don't really think that when I look at this roster and I look how they play, I don't really see a legitimate team that can win in the league. I just don't see it on either ends of the court. And even though I don't have a big problem with Billy Donovan as a coach and what he's doing, it's just like we see with a lot of teams that win titles. You need guys that can make plays. You need guys that can step up. You need guys that can make shots on a consistent basis. And the Bulls just don't have that. Zach Lavine has it because you look at the numbers, you look at what he has done, even coming off of ACL, he has done it. You can't get any better than what Zach Lavine has been because people didn't even think Zach Lavine would be what he is right now. A guy that's efficient, clutch, and can basically score whenever he wants. I knew that, and I was high on Zach Lavine. I liked him better than Wiggins, and he has had a better career than Wiggins so far, and I stand by it. And he has proven me right so far. So I don't really think the problem in Chicago is Zach Lavine. He has the tangibles, he has the will, and he has the necessary skills that you need to be a dominant player. Is he averaging 30? No, but at the same time, he has still not hurt his team unless it's on defense. And you can say defensively he can step up. Well, you can say that about the whole team. The whole team needs to step up defensively, and you can't just blame it on one player. You got to blame everybody because they is a unit. It's everybody on one string. One person fail, one person make a mistake, they all get hurt. That's how defenses play, and it's not just Zach Lavine. And honestly, I think he won't be a great defender. I think he is what he is on the defensive end. But we have seen a lot of great offensive players win titles because of what you put around them, the personnel, and how you build a defense around them. You can still flesh it out. You can still find some pieces. But the confusing part with the Bulls is they have been able to get a lot of young talent, but most of them haven't really panned out or have gotten better. Like I look at Kobe White, I look at Market, and I look at a lot of these guys on this team, they haven't gotten better. I look at the guys that they have brought in, Otto Porter and these guys, they haven't played to their ability or haven't played better when they have got them. That's nothing to do with Zach Lavine to me on this team. But The biggest problem with this team is figuring out what to do. If you can't legitimately put the talent around Zach Lavine, you might have to trade him because he can walk if he does decide to. And that's something that's going to be in the back of their mind because Zach Lavine has shown that he's hungry. He has shown that he has the work ethic because look at how much work he put in since coming in the league and coming off the ACL and look at it where he's at right now. And he has been pretty consistent the entire year and last year, to be honest. I just look at this team and the management and they haven't been able to figure it out. They really haven't been. They haven't been able to figure it out, and they have took some gambles. They have took some risks, and those guys haven't played to their capabilities either. Even when you look at Sanareski and these guys that they have brought in, they haven't been what we thought and what they should be, or even better than what we thought they would be. Zach Lavine has played his best basketball. He has laid it out on the court the last 2 years and basically did whatever he could, even sometimes last year, just trying to force a win. And he has gotten and he has failed because it wasn't enough, or they got a win because he was able to make a difference. But at the end of the day, it's about who you go to war with. It's about who you go to battle with. And it's about who really has your back. And with this Vucevic trade, they're showing that they feel like they can make some other moves possibly to get better. But this team, honestly, is far away from winning the title. And that's something that they have to think about when they make moves the next 1 to 2 years is can we really win with Vucevic and Levine? Can we do that? Can we do that? Because if they can't, they can either lock themselves in a little longer if they want to stay and have a little bit more wiggle time to put the pieces around them. But I don't look at this as a Zach Lavine problem. I don't really look at this as a Vucevic problem. I look at this as a personnel problem. And without the right personnel and without the right talent, you're not going to get much far in the league. You look at some of the best coaches like Nick Nurse, Greg Popovich. Those guys don't have the talent and they're trying their hardest to get the best out of their guys. I had the Raptors finishing high last year because of the team that they had. I had them finish lower this year because of the team they had after free agency and the trade deadline. They wasn't good enough. Coaching only going to get you so far. You need guys that can make plays. You need guys that can put the ball in the basket. You need guys that can execute the game plan. And if you don't have those guys and you don't have the guys that can step up and be big on both ends of the court, you're just not going to get far in the league. You're not going to win that many games in the league. And you're not going to win a championship. And they haven't had that type of talent since they had Jimmy Butler and Derrick Rose. And the biggest problem with that was Derrick Rose wasn't the same because of the torn ACLs and the meniscus. And Jimmy Butler rose when Derrick Rose was on the fall, which means they never could put it together because they never was healthy and at the best of their game. And it's unfortunate because that's something you can't control. That's something that you don't want to happen. But that's just a part of sports and that's just part of the game, and they missed out on the opportunity. Now, when I look at this team, I really want to know what else can they get. Because if you're going to pay Vucevic a lot of money and you're going to pay Levine a lot of money, you have to find that third guy or you have to find an identity that you're going to build and instill in these guys to make sure they know what they are and what they're trying to accomplish as an entire team. And if they can do that, they can get further than where they are now. They haven't moved really anywhere within the last 3 to 4 drafts, even though they've been at the bottom of a majority of them. And Wendell Carter didn't pan out. And none of these guys are really panning out because Kobe White, he looked at like a guy that can be special, but he couldn't be consistent. He couldn't make shots at all, dependably, consistently. And you need those type of guys to be better because you drafted them in the lottery. And at the end of the day, you have huge expectations for them. And Kobe White looks like a rotation player at best. He doesn't look like a star. He doesn't look like an all-star. He just looks like a guy that you know what he is and you know what he comes in to do. And if you're going to take him that high, you hoping to get more than that because that's one of the biggest reasons why this team hasn't moved anywhere. The guys on the bench hasn't gotten better. The guys they have drafted haven't gotten better. And the talent that they have put around haven't got significantly better. And that's why I have the Bulls missing the playoffs, whether Zach Lavine missed the game with the protocols or not. They wasn't good enough. They really wasn't. And it's not his fault because all you can do is go out there and do the best you can. But they just don't have enough. They don't. So the Bulls are in a tough situation because they're trying to figure out What can they do to get to the playoffs? And even though they look closer than they are, they have to do a lot more work. And I always try to tell you guys this every year, if you're trying to make the playoffs, it's not a guarantee. You know what I'm saying? It's not a guarantee that you're going to be in the playoffs. People thought Toronto was going to be there. People thought Golden State was a given, and it just didn't happen. It's not. Injuries happen, trades happen, teams get better, teams go crazy in free agency like the Hawks, and now you got passed up. And now you at the bottom looking in, trying to get in when you thought you had a shot, and now you got to go back to the drawing board to get on the same page with your team and your personnel to get it done. And they just don't have those things done right now. And that's why I'm not looking at the Bulls as a dangerous team in the East. And honestly, if they don't do major personnel changes, I don't see them being a major force in the future, especially if they draft picks continue not to pan out. And in that case, you might have to move on from the Zach Lavine and Vucevic duo, just because they can be fun, they can be entertaining, they can be tough to guard, but at the same time, it's about wins. And if you're not winning and you're not going out there playing the game at the highest level, then what are you doing? You're rebuilding, trying to get to a chance where you can play at the highest level. The problem is the pain of being bad and trying to figure out who's your star and trying to figure out how to put the requisite talent around them. And that's where they at now. The problem is putting the requisite talent around them. And I don't really see them doing it because there's no big free agents right now. I don't really like they trade pieces right now either. And even if somebody come up, do they really want to play with Zach Lavine and Vucevic and be that third piece that can get them over the hump and get them into the playoffs and probably a contention, depending on how good that guy is? The problem is, who is that guy? And I don't see that guy right now. And if they do, can they even get that guy? Because they don't really have enough pieces to me that makes it an interesting trade because they don't have a top 10 pick guarantee right now because of their record. Now, if they fall a little bit, maybe they got a shot to get one of these great young players. But even then, you get one of them, they're not going to be great right away, which means you got to put a couple more years into them too to become that third guy. Patience is a virtue. The problem is in the league, this is a win now league, a result league. And if you're not winning and you're not putting a team together that, does win, coaches get fired, players get traded, waived, and GMs are going like hotcakes too. And that's the problem with the league because people are in. The fans want to see it. The league want to see it because it brings them in revenue. Crazy part about it, only 8 teams make it to the playoffs. And if you ain't one of them, you ain't got a chance to win the title because you have to be in the playoffs to do it. So the Wolves are further than what you think. They in the top 10, but to me, this team has a long way to go to be a playoff team. And the goal is to make it to the playoffs, but is eventually to win the title. And that's why I'm lower on the Zach Lavine Bulls than other people. I'm a supporter of Zach Lavine. I got love for Zach Lavine. And I'm proud of Zach Lavine because he has put in a lot of work, and I love the player that he is now and what he's about. It's just he don't have enough around him, and that's out of his control. Other than that, let me know what you guys think. Is I'm crazy? Is I'm tripping? Is this a classic like I've been delivering? Or is Zach Lavine just going to be hated on because he didn't get it done? Is he a number one? Is he number two? Is he number three? Wherever you guys feel, let me know in the comment section below. Other than that, Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis, I'm gone. And I'll be back with another video on Sunday. Enjoy your weekend.